So welcome, everybody. I am Kelly Beatty from Sky and Telescope Magazine, and we're thrilled to have you here with us today. This webinar is going to give you a sneak peek, a preview of the tour that we've got planned for this coming September of the Canary Islands, a place that I've always wanted to visit but haven't had a chance to yet, and maybe this will be your chance as well. We've got a great travel team assembled for you here today to tell you about it. I want to introduce first John and Rita Royal and their son Armando, the family behind Royal Adventures, who are experts in educational and small group travel. Sky and Telescope has been working with them for a number of years now. They are definitely a top shelf outfit. They take care of all the details. And once again, we're very grateful and thrilled to be working with you. Thank you. And also joining us from the Canary Islands is Gemma Lopez, who is with the company In Inventing, which is a company that specializes in group travel. And Gemma and her team will be our guides around the islands as we explore the nooks and crannies there and enjoy the scenery and taste all the wonderful food. And then finally, Javier Barbuzano, who was born and raised in Tenerife. He now lives in Barcelona, but he has lived literally in the shadow of these telescopes there, and he is going to give us a little bit of insight of what awaits us on the observatories. So I want to remind you all that this is being recorded, so that in case you or your friends want to go back and see it again, I'll be posting it to Sky and Telescope's YouTube channel in a matter of hours after we're done here, as soon as I can get the recording processed. And also, we encourage you to ask questions. If you look down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see an icon marked Q&A. And if you will click on that, you can type in a question that we'll get to, maybe in the middle, maybe toward the end. We'll see how it goes. And we, of course, want to hear your questions, especially if you think that this is something that might be right for you. So I'm going to get going here by starting to share the screen and get our presentation going. Share sound. Here we go. And there we go. So I am going to turn the stage, so to speak, over to Gemma, who's going to tell us what is in store for us. Gemma, please take it away.
So welcome all. We are going to start our trip to the Canary Islands. I don't know if you know, but the Canary Islands are a small archipelago that it's part of Europe, but geographically, as you can see, we are more close to Africa. We are part of Spain politically, so we speak Spanish in our way. That it's the Canarian way. We have different words and different type of speaking. Our weather, it's similar to North Africa. It's a good temperature all year round. In fact, the time that you're coming, it's the most wonderful weather because it's not that hot as it is in summer. And as you can see here, we have seven different islands. Well, in fact, we are now 8. If you can see the smaller one that it's up to Lanzarote, but we are going to focus on this trip to mainly 2 and 3 in case you want to see Lanzarote as well. So we are going to arrive first to La Palma, and then we go to Tenerife to see the wonderful skies that are in our islands. So La Palma is known as the beautiful island because of its contrast, because of its skies, because of deep forests, and as well its impressive volcanoes. But the one that we are looking for, it's its impressive skies. We are a location that are availed by the support by the Starlight Foundation. Because we respect so much our skies and we take care of the light pollution, and we respect our skies. So La Palma, in fact, is the most stunning island for going to do a stargazing. And on the other island, we have Tenerife. Tenerife is one of the capital of the archipelago. and it's the most populated one and the second largest after Fuerteventura. In the island of Tenerife, we have the National Park of Teide with Volcano Teide, that it's the highest point of all Spain. In fact, I will do some spoiler, but we are going to stay in the national park, so it's going to be an amazing experience. And we finish with our Lanzarote, that it's the land of fire. It's like going to Mars. It's all volcanic land because it had happened a volcanic eruption in the 18th century that lasted 6 years. So it was 6 years the volcano exploding and having all the ashes, but it's not. It's totally a different island than the one that you have probably seen, but for sure you're going to find it contrast between the volcanoes, between the Lajeria, that it's an area that you will find some wonderful vineyards. So it's another amazing island. I'm fully in love with the place I live. So I hope that you are going to fall in love as well. So we are going to start with the accommodation. We are going to start in La Palma, and we are going to stay in the Tazacorte village. Tazacorte is one of the villages that are located on the west part of the island, and it's inside the municipality of Los Llanos de Aridane, that it's the most populated one, but Tazacorte is not that populated, so we're going to feel like we are in a truly Canarian village. In fact, in this area, it's located Hacienda de Abajo. It's the hotel we are going to stay for. It's the most luxurious hotel of all La Palma. It's there, nothing like that. It's enclave. It's surrounded by banana plantations that are our most typical products, and it's an ancient sugar factory of the 17th century. So it has preserved all its authenticity, and with a touch of a style that reminds you of last epochs. As you can see, the rooms are simply wonderful, and all of the rooms have windows that when you go outside, you will see the banana plantations, wonderful frutal gardens that are inside the hotel. And it's such a small hotel. Mostly our group, it's going to fit all the rooms. So it's going, the feeling that we are going to have is like you are all in exclusive in the hotel. The service is super great. The temperature and the weather, for sure, it's super amazing. And the enclave, it's simply unforgettable.
And Hema, it's owned by a family, right?
Yes, it's owned by a local La Palma family that they saw the place and they thought that why this is abandoned. We can help the tourism of the area and have a nice product that works very good with the tourists that visit us, because yes, you can go to a resort or an amazing resort with a lot of pools, but this not reflects the authenticity of La Palma. This one does, surrounded by banana trees that are the main industry of La Palma. And as you can see, like floral gardens, like you are enjoying the pool by yourself with no other guests around. It's going to be amazing, I think. And now we continue with Tenerife. As I told you before, I did some spoilers, sorry. We are going to stay at Parador de las Cañadas del Teide. It's inside the National Park of Teide. So the hotel, it's above 2,000 meters from the sea level. And for sure, the starry cloak, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be super dark. There's no lights around. There's nothing around, just yourself and that beautiful landscape. Or like, it's similar as well, like Mars, like another planet. So it's going to be amazing, and the experience we are going to have there with the views of a volcano Teide, it's going to be super nice, super nice. The service as well, it's super good, and we are going to feel the authentic Tenerife, not the tourist area that everybody can go, and that has a lot of noises around. There you will feel total relax, like breathe like authentic fresh air, and enjoy the starry night. That it's simply amazing.
Before we sort of step through all the activities, I wanted to show a 3-minute video produced by the Astronomical Institute of the Canaries. Their astronomy is such an important part of this island that the observatories, the professional astronomers, put together this lovely video, not just about their observatories, but about the island culture and the vibe in general. So sit back and relax.
This is really a dream destination for anybody who loves astronomy. First, you can see we're going to see clear skies. We're going at a great time when tourism is low. And then the third factor is sky and telescopes, and Kelly can tell you about the special access to these observatories. Roque de los Muchachos and Teide Observatory, we're not just going there. We're going there with special access thanks to sky and telescope.
Right. I've had an exchange with the astronomers there, and the no less than the director of himself has given us the green light for a very comprehensive and behind the scenes tour in both locations. So, but you should really look forward to that. I'm going to turn the stage over here to Javier to tell us a little bit about these observatories. We're going to start with Roque de los Muchachos, the Roque, as they say, and take it away, Javier.
Okay, hi. So my name is Javier Barbusano. I'm a science writer and occasionally write for Sky and Telescope. And as Kelly said, I'm a native of the Canary Islands, so I've been growing and living all my life under these observatories. And also I worked for a while at the Instituto de Astrofísica, so I am familiar with them. And you will probably ask, why do we have two world-class observatories in these islands that are so close by? And the answer is easy, is because the sky is excellent for observation, and this is why they decided to put these observatories here. If you're familiar with astronomy, that probably you are a little bit, or an amateur astronomer, you know there are a few things that can ruin your observations. First one is clouds. Then you have light pollution is a problem, and you need a stable atmosphere, especially when you're going to science class observations. And the reason why these observatories are there is because there's very little of any of that. So the islands are small, but they're really tall. There's not so many people living there, and Tenerife a little bit more, but no, in La Palma not so much. It's very, very quiet. And then the mountains are above the clouds. So during the video that Kelly showed you, we could see how the clouds are making like the sea of clouds, which is how people call it, and it's way below the summit. So people sometimes happens that you drive up the mountain, you cross this layer of clouds, and then suddenly you are in a beautiful sky, all clear to observation. And the stable atmosphere is important because when you have an observatory in a continent, what happens is the land gets very hot. So this heat is released at night and makes the atmosphere blurry. And since the islands are surrounded by the sea, this problem is much less, and the telescopes get much better view. So in La Palma, which is a younger observatory, right now the seeing conditions are much better, and this is why most of the new telescopes are being located there, especially the biggest in the world, the Gran Telescopio Canarias, the GTC, is currently the largest largest mirror telescope in the world. It's a 10.4 meter telescope, and it's the dome is incredibly high, so it's like a football stadium almost. And this structure you can see in the picture is you can see the mirror in the center. And I've been told to people who work there that you can actually move the whole structure with your hand, because it's so well designed that it doesn't require a lot of strength to move it. And it's being used for science still. So it's the biggest one. So it doesn't have that many competitors actually. And then in the Roque there are also many other instruments. You have the Telescopio Nacional Galileo, which is a cooperation with Italy. Most of the telescopes in the Roque are international, so it's cooperations between Spain and other countries. And this is from Italy. It's a 3.5 meter telescope. And then you also have the William Herschel, which is 4.5 meter. And then there is another observatory that doesn't look a lot like a telescope. It's the MAGIC telescope, which is designed to look at the high energy radiation. It's a gamma rays that come from black holes and stellar explosions. And this thing, what it does is catch these super energetic particles as they come through the atmosphere, and they do a flash, like a cascade of particles, and they try to recreate the origin of these particles through imaging this cascade. So a lot of physics, a lot of modeling involved in the astronomy world to figure out what is what.
And this observatory is at the end of a very long and winding road. It's going to take us the better part of an hour to get up there and back from our hotel, but we're going to make a lovely day trip of it. There'll be a lunch involved, and we're definitely going to take our time and enjoy not only the observatory once we get up there, but the dramatic landscapes that are in view along the way. So Gemma, speaking of volcanoes, what else is on our itinerary?
So the next day after visiting Roque Los Muchachos, we are going to visit the Cumbre Vieja volcano. This was a volcano that erupted in 2021, so it's almost new. And it was an eruption that lasted 3 months between September and December of 2021. So we are going to visit with a local guide that experienced the volcano himself, that he will talk about where he was when the volcano exploded. Myself, I was on the beach and I read that the volcano was exploding, so it was a crazy day. So we are going to start the route. It's a small trekking route on the ashes of the Cumbre Vieja volcano. That it names nowadays, it's Tajogaite, because people from La Palma decided which name was it be. So it was now its name is Tajogaite. And yeah, we are going to start our route in the ashes of the volcano, and we are going to walk through the ashes until we arrive to a new viewpoint to see the crater itself from 200 meters. The crater inside, it's still warm. It's, well, not warm, it's really hot. It's like 900 Celsius degrees. So for that reason, we have to be a little bit away from it, but it's simply a spectacular experience to have. And for sure, then the part of the volcano is that the happy part is that now it's not exploding, that it's sleeping. But it's true that it has left a lot of bad things to La Palma. So we are going to see some villages that have been destroyed by the volcano. And you will see the contrast between the volcano, the dark side, the black side of the ashes next to the banana plantation that are on that area. So you will see that the green part is on one side and the black part is on the other side. So it's a big contrast, and it's crazy. So after visiting Cumbre Vieja, we are going to go back to the hotel, just relax a little bit, just take a shower or swim in the pool, and then we are going to the south of the island. We are going to the Salinas de Fuencaliente. That is a salt work area that produce the salt for La Palma and from other islands, really good quality salt. And in there, there's a restaurant that it's a Jardín de la Sal. It's one of the best restaurants of La Palma, known by its avant-garde cuisine and all the development on gastronomy that has been in this restaurant. And we are going to enjoy it in exclusive for our group. So it's going to be such an amazing place to start the evening, see the sunset, enjoy the dinner. And after that, we are going to do astrophotography workshop, surrounded by nothing else than our presence and the salt works and the sea. And we are going to learn all about the photography of the sky, of the Milky Way. We will learn how to do like the I don't remember the word right now, the videos for the sky. We are going to be by our own, and with Ana Garcia, that is going to be the team leader of our stargazing guides. That it's a astrophysical, really renowned professor. She will explain us all the items of the astrophotography and which time is the best to take your photos, which are the events that you have to think about for taking stunning photos of the sky. So we are going to start with an astrophotography workshop.
And I have to jump in and say, you're probably thinking to yourselves, oh, that sounds like it's going to be really difficult. It's not. Modern cameras are so good at picking up faint detail. Many of you probably have smartphones that have a night scene setting, or you can drag out that digital camera in your closet and bring that along. Obviously, a tripod will be essential for this, but it will not take much at all to capture beautiful images of the night sky. And one last thing I want to say before we jump ahead, we see the sky at night with our eyes as basically a black and white sky because that's the way our eyes work at night. But in a camera, once you take a picture of the very same sky, the colors just jump out. And so what you see there in the Milky Way in that top image has not been colorized. That's the way it looks to the camera. It's amazing stuff. Go ahead, Gemma.
So next day we are going to visit the Bodegón Tamanca. It's a wonderful vineyard next to the hotel. So we are going to taste some of the local products and local wines that are next to the capital city of La Palma, that it's Santa Cruz. And then we're going to taste the typical flavors of our destination. So it's super nice. It's super nice experience. And after that, as I was telling you, we are going to visit the historical city of Santa Cruz, of La Palma, in fact. It's the only one that it has preserved the authenticity from the beginnings of the populations of La Palma. We are going to cross the charming streets and to discover its corners, from the typical Canarian balconies till the main church square of the capital city. So it's going to be like a travel back in time and feel like we are Canarians of the 15th, 16th century and get involved in our local culture. And after that, as dinner, we were thinking about, okay, we know the skies, we know the landscapes inside the islands, but what about the sea? For us, the Canarians, the sea and the Atlantic Ocean, it's a really important thing for all of us. So we want to, and as well, we want to respect all the species that live there. So we are going to do with the beginning of the afternoon, we are going to take a boat, and we are going to go inside to the Atlantic Ocean in order to see dolphin and whales in their natural habitat. The Canary Islands are just a few locations of the world that you can see dolphin and whales all year round. Don't matter, it doesn't matter when you are visiting us, but in Tenerife, La Palma, La Gomera, and El Hierro, you will see definitely 99% of the times dolphin and whales in the natural area. Our boat, for sure, it has to have a flag and to have the certificate that they can go to see cetaceans, because not all the boats can do it, and because we preserve the sustainability of our environment. And after that, we are going to see the sunset, and we will learn how the antique sailors traveled through the sea with the guides only of the stars. So we will be like, we will in this day we will be travel back in time in many different ways. In the morning, in the historical city, and in the afternoon we are going to be like sailors, like antique sailors.
You'll have to pay close attention, because at the end of the demonstration, the captain of the ship is going to turn it over to the passengers and say, okay, get us back to port.
For sure. That's including the price.
I just want to emphasize, this is an optional activity. There'll be a price for this, but for those who sign up for the tour by tomorrow, we will include this at no cost. The details on this are on the website where you go to sign up, but just want you to know this is an extra cost activity, unless you're early to sign up. And we're going to, the next day, we're going to return to the other observatory, Teide Observatory, which is in the middle of this amazing otherworldly setting. It is, astronomy has been an important part of these islands for a very long time. The first telescope was set up in the 1960s, some 60 years ago, and it's just an amazing place. And so it has its own set of telescopes. And I'm going to turn it back over to Javier to tell us about this observatory.
Exactly. So this observatory is been there for longer than the one in La Palma, and it's actually smaller. Actually, if you're a fan of music, rock star Brian May, who is the guitarist of Queen, did his PhD in one of the telescopes in Tenerife, and people who met him said that he was thinking of taking a gap year and try this thing with his rock band that was starting at the time. And we are, if you like music, we are probably lucky that he did. And then he returned like last decade, and he finally did his PhD, and now he's an astrophysicist. So the observatory in El Teide is mostly these days reserved to solar science because of all the better conditions in La Palma. This is more suited for solar telescopes, and you have three, which are world-class. Gregor is the newest, and it's a 1.5 meter telescope. And then you have the Themis and the Vacuum Tower telescope, which is larger, but the mirror is 1 meter, and the Themis is 90 centimeters. So this is the world-class size of solar telescope these days. Until the next generation comes, it's going to be the 4 meter class, and actually one of them is the European solar telescope is going to be installed in El Roque in La Palma, probably because they have more space there. And there are other telescopes also, like visible light telescopes. You have the Carlos Sanchez telescope, is one about 1.5 meter, and it has also in the infrared. And then you have a bunch of robotic telescopes that are remotely operated, people that doesn't even have to go there to operate. Another survey telescope for exoplanets, and a lot of this. So there is a lot of instrumentation from ESA. We try new stuff all the time there, like laser communication and these kind of things. So I think it's also very, very interesting. And actually, the first time I went into a professional telescope was the Vacuum Tower telescope, and I was really impressed because they showed me the monitors and how the sun looks through one of these telescopes, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, and you can see there in the background Monte, which dominates the landscape all around, and that will play a part in our the rest of that day, right, Gemma?
Okay. Yes, we are going to finish our experience at Tenerife with the Volcanoes, Sunset and Stargazing with our guide Juan Vicente. Juan Vicente it's an astrology expert, and he is the professor for the new guides of astronomy of the island. So he's the master this experience. So yeah, we are going to go first to Las Narices del Teide, and there we are going to see how the sun melts with the as the Canarians call the sea of clouds, how it melts with it and with the island. It's with a glass of cava by ourselves, just enjoying the views and with the direction of our guide. And then we are going to get inside the national park to have a authentic stargazing activity. First of all, we are going to learn about the history, as we were seeing in the sea. We are going to learn about the history of the stars and all the Romans and Greek histories about the starry night. And then we are going to focus on nowadays how we interpret the stars, the Milky Way, all the scientific things. And then we are going to have different telescopes that Juan Vicente will show. Each one is going to point to different spots of the galaxy, from the moon, from other planets, to stunning stars. So
right.
That at more than 2,000 meters from the sea level, it's going to be simply amazing, because normally the clouds are lower than the point that we are. So it's going to be a unique experience for sure.
And I just want to jump in here. You know, these Starlight Foundation guides and the other guides who will be leading us, they'll have telescopes to show us amazing things, but even your eyes will be just amazed. Those of you who know anything about the night sky, you can see here from this diagram that this is the most amazing time of the year to see the Milky Way. And for us, farther, the latitude isn't all that much farther south than it is in the United States or Europe, but because of the clarity, you'll be able to see all the way down to the horizon. And the Milky Way will just be astoundingly bright overhead. The center of the Milky Way is down there between the constellations of Sagittarius and Scorpius, and that's where the densest clouds of our galaxies, stars will appear. And over in the east, we'll be able to see Saturn, the beautiful planet Saturn and its rings. I think that the stargazing, whether through telescopes or just by eye, is just going to be amazing during this trip. So, Emma, sorry for the interruption. Back to you.
Don't worry. As an optional tour extension, we are going to visit Lanzarote. Lanzarote, it's from Tenerife like 55 minutes by plane. So because we are a small archipelago, but it's a little bit distance between each islands. So now we are in Lanzarote. We are going to visit the Timanfaya National Park and all the south area of Lanzarote. Timanfaya, as I was telling you at the beginning of the presentation, it's a national park now, but in fact, in the beginning of the 18th century, it was an eruption there that lasted for 6 years. So it's not only Timanfaya volcano, it's Timanfaya, Cuervo. There's a lot of volcanoes around this area. So when we are going to Timanfaya, the first experience we are going to have, it's different experiments, because inside of the land, it's still warm and it's still hot. So you will see different experiments. I don't want to do many spoilers until you come here, but yeah, you will feel the heat of the floor of the inner part of the earth. So after that, we are going to take a bus and we will go through these rows and getting inside of the national park, seeing the volcanoes around us. And with the explanation of a local guide, a guide that is born in Lanzarote, you will definitely comprehend all the issue with the volcanoes and all the magic about them.
And you know, the fact that these islands are so close together makes this a very efficient day trip to Lanzarote and Timanfaya, because we won't need to leave our hotel on Tenerife. We'll just stay there. All your stuff will stay there. We simply take a ride to the airport, hop on a plane, come over to this island, Lanzarote, see the park, and then fly back and have dinner back on Tenerife.
Yes, for us, taking a plane to another island is for you. It's like for you taking a bus. It's the same. I'm always have to take a plane for going to one island to another, and it's the similar procedure.
Yeah, and all this traveling is making me hungry. So, Emma, tell us about the wonderful food we're going to eat.
Yes, so we are going to start our nights at Taberna del Puerto. Taberna del Puerto, it's near the hotel, and it's in part of Tazacorte village, but it's in the port area. So now, after a long trip from the United States, so you come to La Palma and you only think about, I want to have fresh air, nobody around. And so that's the best welcome dinner. We're going to arrive to the port with the sea next to us and with an amazing atmosphere. The typical food of Taberna del Puerto, it's the fish and the seafood. So I think that it's a good starting point for this marvelous trip. Then we're going to Rincón de Moraga as well. It's near the hotel, because of this day we are going to the Roque de los Roque de los Muchachos, so it's a lot of road time. So we wanted to stay close to the hotel. Rincón de Moraga, it's a mostly new restaurant. It opened only 3 years or 2 years ago, but it's the most avant-garde now cuisine that exists in La Palma. He's in the Michelin list, and he will probably receive a Michelin star in the next years. So all the people that goes to Rincón de Moraga gets super happy after the dinner, because the gastronomy there, it's amazing. In fact, it's my favorite restaurant of all the trip. So you're going to enjoy it for sure. And then we continue with Jardín de la Sal, as I was explaining before, with the astronomy, astrophotography workshop. This is the restaurant that it's inside the salt works of La Palma. And it doesn't open by night, but we are going to have it open just for us. So it's going to be an amazing experience, because seeing the sunset from that spot, it's simply amazing. And the food as well, it's super, super great. It's just
It
incredible.
will be a good place to look for the green flash.
Yes. And the dinner after the on the last night of Tenerife, we're going to go into the sea as well, because we are in the mountains. As I told you, we are in the highest place of all Spain, and for sure in Tenerife. So we are going to go a little bit down just to feel the atmosphere of a typical port area of Tenerife, and we're going to enjoy like a Mediterranean dinner with the sea views, and all together spending our last night just together. It's the simply perfect ending for our trip.
Indeed, it will be. Thank you so much, Emma, for taking us on that wonderful preview of what awaits us. That's really about it for our presentation. I want to remind you that we're recording it. This would be a great time to ask questions if you have them. Les has asked a question about on Tenerife. One of the telescopes that's there is a robotic telescope run by an organization called SLU. And he wanted to know if we're going to interact with that telescope at all. Les, I think it'll be closed during the daytime for sure, which is when we're going to be visiting. I think what we'll do is we'll just pry open the dome and take selfies so that the people back home will be startled by what they see. I don't think we're going to get a chance to see that one, but it's certainly up there, and it's one of as Javier explained, it's one of a bunch of the telescopes that are available for professional and amateur use. SLU is a company that allows anybody, those of us here attending, to like buy time on a telescope and take amazing pictures. If anyone else has a question, please pop it in the Q&A box that you see down at the bottom there, and we will. Les wants to know, is there an update on the number of attendees or flights? Okay, there's two different questions there. This is a small group tour. The maximum number of people we can take is about 25. We're about a third of the way there, and so there's room for more people, but not a lot more people. We don't want it to get too large. The reason for this is that between the visits to the observatories that we have planned, and also the sessions that we're planning with our local amateur astronomers and astrophotographers, we don't want to have too many people. So we've capped this at about 25 people. And so that will be the limit of how many people we have going. We'll also have, she's not here today, Camille Carlisle from Sky and Telescope Magazine will be with you, helping out as best she can. And she speaks pretty good Spanish too, so that'll be very useful as well. Camille is the queen of black holes, so you can save up all your questions about black holes for her. In terms of flights, now the flights to and from the Canaries are not included in the pricing. And if you've explored this at all, especially if you're flying from the United States, you'll probably come through Spain, through Madrid, on Iberia. That is the most common way, I think, to get to the Canaries. There are probably a couple of other connections as well, but you'll be taking an overnight flight from the United States for sure to get to Europe, and then a fairly quick flight to get down to the Canaries. They're right off the coast of Morocco, and you would think that there'd be a lot of flights to and from Morocco from the Canaries, but there really aren't. There's only one or two that I'm aware of. So that's the situation there with the flights. And one of the reasons that we want to try to get people encouraged by this right away is that the flights will be, you want to make sure you have adequate time to book your flights. And Les asks, will it be worthwhile to bring your own small telescope? What are the chances to use it both photographically and visually? Absolutely, Les, because although we have 3 or 4 organized sessions, especially when we get to Teide National Park and the Parador that's there, it is going to be capital B black. There is nothing around there. And so for the evenings that you have on your own after dinner, if you haven't had too much cava for dinner, you can step outside with your telescope and just find a lounge chair next to the pool, or set up your telescope and do astrophotography on your own there. There's going to be great opportunities to do that. I hope that answers your question. I'm going to stop the sharing. I was a little bit too quick there. In fact, let me go back to that because I want people to see those two important URLs that you've got there. If you want to find out sort of the details on the itinerary, much as Hema was explaining, you can go to that website at Sky and Telescope / Canary Islands 2023. Or if you're so enthused about this trip that you're ready to book now, you can go directly to the Royal Adventures website. You can see the URL at the bottom, or you can just scan the QR code. Again, this webinar is being recorded, so we'll be posting it on YouTube. And if you didn't catch those URLs, you can certainly get them quickly enough once it's posted to YouTube. I hope that you have found this fascinating introduction to this amazing place. And I want to thank Hema and Javier, especially for taking time there. It's getting near their bedtime there in Europe. And I know Javier wants to get back to his kids for sure. And for the Royals, I want to thank you for setting up this amazing trip. I know this is one we've all been eager to get off the ground, and it's finally here. And I hope that those of you who are watching find this interesting. I didn't put it in the URL, but if you have any questions, please drop me a line, an email. My email is kbeatty, KBEATTY, at skyandtelescope.org. And obviously, I'm eager to answer any of your questions. And I hope that you found this interesting enough to take the plunge and join us in the Canaries. Royals, anybody have any last words? And if not, we'll call it to a close. Rita, you're muted, so unmute and.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Rita, I think you're muted, but we're happy to have you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, Armando. I'm the tour manager on the program.
And we can assist you with your flights. I mean, you're welcome to go on the internet, but we also have a company we work closely with that knows the destination and can assist you. So to give you an idea of flights, but you're free to go on, of course, at any time the web, but we can help you with that.
That's great. And in fact, that's what this is all about. This family-owned company is all about treating our customers, your customers well, and making sure that everything is under control and to your satisfaction. So thank you again for joining us. Again, I'm Kelly Beatty from Sky and Telescope. I look forward to interacting with you, and I hope you found this exciting and enjoyable. I look forward to having you all join us on the Canary Islands in September. Thanks again.
Thank you, Hema. Thank you, Javier.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly.
Adios.
Hema.
Adios.
Adios.
Adios. Gracias.